Alright, so RayReign, I've got the first replay that you wanted analyzed, loaded up here, and I decided to do this because we play at different times. I think the probability of us being online at the same time is low, and this is probably the best way to analyze this replay. So, here we go. Alright, so we've got a PvZ here. Interesting pylon placement. Can you reach your forge this far? Overpull from the Zerg. Oh wow, you can. That's nice. I like it. Alright, we don't want to lose this. Team Nexus. We wanted to block. Wow, where's this hatchery at? Was this a 9 pool? No. Hold on, why is this hatchery so late? Am I smoking crack right now? Should be at like 2 minutes. Alright, so he's got the money for it. He just decides to build the links first. He goes for 6 links. So, in this situation, you see the 4. Okay, now you want to let this probe finish, but then you want to build a second cannon, because there's always the probability that he's doing this, building even more links. So you can cut a probe to get a second cannon down, and then your second gateway. Or not second gateway, but first gateway, and then you just want to block with probes until that second cannon finishes. And keep this alive. Keep this alive as long as possible. So you opt for the gateway, and you lose the probe. So, this is kind of bad if he decides to run through, right? Takes the other natural. He's droning behind this. So you lost 2 probes there, but now you've got the annoyance of 2 lings in your base. Right? Okay. This is going to delay your tech. It's not bad so far, honestly, but you've handled it pretty well, but it's not what it could have been, right? So now we're looking for weapons. Yeah, you're playing this well based on what happens. I think you're in a decent spot here. Air weapons, Citadel. So I will say, our Sarah's maybe a little bit late because of what happened. Normally, you want to be at their base at like 6 minutes with the first Sarah. Our +1 air weapons on our Citadel are really late too. And I think that's because you opted to keep building zealots. And the thing is, the zealots are good, but you don't want to prioritize those over your tech, right? You want a couple of them just to block your wall, to wall in here. But the build order that's the best. So you build this, you build the Stargate, you start the +1, then you decide, you know, what's the likelihood? Is he going Yuta? Is he going Lair? If you think he is, then you get the +1 air weapons immediately after that, and then you get the Citadel after that. If you think he's going Hydra, like there's a strong probability he's going Hydra, you skip the +1 air and you get the Citadel faster. But you know, right now you're floating a lot of gas because you didn't prioritize getting those. You prioritized building the zealots, right? And the zealots are good. You're gonna have more zealots when you have legs, zealot legs. But what's more important is that you get the Citadel quicker and get the legs quicker so that you can scout. Right? The zealots aren't like, the zealot legs aren't necessarily to do damage. If you get damage, that's good. But 90% of the time, it's just to scout what they're doing. You know, how many Hydras they have, where their bases are, how many hatches there are. That's the point of these zealots. And so you really want to prioritize your tech before building the zealots, right? So this is late. And this is late. Like, maybe you don't even get it at all, but you might need it. Based on what I'm seeing, he's probably going Muta. Okay, you do start +1 weapons. Or, yeah. +1 air weapons. So this, I mean, this could be already halfway done. And he's going Hydra. Where are our Saris? What are we doing with our Saris? If you're gonna make these, you need to get some sort of value out of them instead of keeping them at home, right? So back at this attack, with the first initial attack with the Zealots, if you had your Corsairs with you, you're killing these Overlords, as well as whatever units that you're going to kill here, right? You're going to get twice the value out of this little attack, which I'm not sure. It wasn't the worst, but I think you kind of lost your Zealots without really doing significant damage to the Zerg. So you have 5 Sares here. That's part of this delay, right? Like, you're kind of hesitant to move these out because you don't have +1 yet. If you start +1 on time, then you can have your Sares with these Zealots right now. And when you do this, and when you push in here, you kill 2 overlords. So then you actually have some real pressure on him. But otherwise, these are kind of a waste because he's going Hydra, right? He's not going Muta. So imagine you're killing these 2 overlords here, and then you're swinging around to the natural, and you've got more zealots, and you're pressuring the map, right? You're swinging these to the natural. Obviously, he's got some stuff here, but you would be clearing the map of Scourge and overlords and punishing him for you'd be making him defend his bases, right? Defend his overlords. He'd have to keep Hydras here because, you know, you're Sayers. So these were kind of a waste if you're not going to use them. And our storm's kind of late too. Yeah, this is too many cannons. We shouldn't have to build this many cannons based on this timing. We should have way more gateways. Oh, we're going to lose the +1 armor. So let's go back a little bit. So while we were doing this attack, let's look at the Templar timing too. Let's see what we see with the Sayer. So with the Sayer, we see a Spire already done. We see another gas already mining. We don't see an Evo chamber. We don't see a Hydra den. We don't see a sunken, but the possibility of Muta is there. We see he took this other base. We see another hatchery. You know, so right now I'm thinking Muta, right? But that's why this is so important. Like, optimizing for this is so important because, well, we want to get something to his base to be able to see what his follow-up is as quickly as possible. He built the Evo chamber and the Hydralisk den after you left. We didn't see a third gas. Anyways, you start the legs. Your gateways should be going up now, and your Templar archive can be down and building already. So basically, all this small stuff of not optimizing your build, you know, even if it's 10 or 15 seconds, if he's at your front trying to bust you, you know, 10 or 15 seconds is a lot. It's, you know, the difference between needing 10 cannons or 4. So that's kind of it's just the small things, right? Like making your build order crisp. Using the Sayers if you build them. It's not bad to build the Sayers in this situation, but you want to have them on time. Have your +1 on time. And so yeah, our Templar archive is very late. I mean, we can break it down and tell you, we can go like how many seconds it's late, but because you can build it right now when you start legs, like right when the Citadel finishes. Okay, so if right now at 640, you start your legs, you start your Templar archive, and you add 3 gateways. Let's see how long it is before you add the Templar Archive. So we said 640. So 40 seconds late so far. 50 seconds late. So our storm is over a minute late. So let's fast forward to when we actually have storm. Okay, our storm finishes at 10 minutes. It could have finished at 9 minutes. At 9 minutes, you're just not adding cannons. And you have zealots. You'd also have Templar, right? You'd also have some Templar, because you can't build them until you have a Templar Archive. So you would have at least 2 Templar, if not 4 Templar with energy. And so you would only need probably 4 cannons here. You could decide to build more and cancel them based on what you're scouting with your Sares. But you wouldn't need, you could also probably be at 6 gateways now, or more. You're just floating a lot of money because you're microing, right? Which is understandable, but yeah, those are the biggest things. Just optimizing your build. The thing about having your Templar earlier is it doesn't just help for stopping things like this. They gain energy, right? Your biggest advantage as a Protoss in the mid game is like that 12-minute push out, or whenever you have like 140, 150, 160 plus supply and you push out with that goon ball. That's when you really are smacking Zerg around, right? And so the more energy on your Templar that you have, the more storms you have, that's better, right? So if you optimize your build for getting the Templar out basically as quickly as possible, getting your 4 Templar out, that just makes your push that much stronger, right? So every second counts, right? Like, especially if you're going to bust them before Hive, if they go Hive. So anyways, I imagine since you had to add all these cannons, he kills your +1 armor. He probably contains you. I'm just going to guess that that's what happens. He contains you on the high ground. So this was all based off of just everything being late, right? And not being optimized the way that it should have been. Because adding all these cannons delays your unit count, delays your gateway production. What it comes down to is the kind of the 2 things that I want you to take away from this game are just the build order optimization, building the zealots, but prioritizing your tech, having that crisp build order, getting the +1 air on time, getting the Citadel on time, getting the Templar Archive on time, and focus on scouting with the zealots rather than building a bunch of them to maybe do some sort of damage, because 90% of the time you won't find damage. And if you get those Templars out quickly, your push is going to be stronger. Your push is going to be quicker. And all that. And then this isn't as strong, right? with the possibility that they might not even be able to do this if you're out on the map faster. But alright, so there's that one. Oh, and then the earlier part of the game is not as crucial, but the adding the second cannon. Maybe Bonhoff will watch this and he'll have another opinion, or maybe what you did is fine. Maybe that's personal preference. So use that do with that what you will. Alright. Second game. Another overpool opening. Sneaky Zerg. Okay. Keeping this probe alive, it's good. You're looking for what he's doing with those extra larvae. You're looking for the gas timing. You see the gas timing, so you can leave now, and you do. Good. Doing everything good at home. Checking the third base location. Getting the zealot and then core. That's fine. We're not mining our gas. There we go. Okay, so since you have this probe alive still, you should be rallying this zealot out. You should be rallying it out onto the map. Yep. Okay. We've got a Hydra Den. So, I'm going to watch from your vision. You should keep running this around, and now you should shove this zealot into the main. Yeah, run into the main, yeah. So you get a scout. Okay, so you see the Hydra Den. You've already got your Stargate started. Your +1 is started. This is kind of, at this point, when you see this, you kind of have a couple options. The way this wall is set up, it's going to make it really hard to save this and for this to finish, for this upgrade to actually finish. So you might just want to cancel it right now. You might just want to, you know, one thing that you can do right now is build 2 forges, and just cancel this, build 2 forges, and then start your 1-1. You're basically scouting this at the perfect time, because you don't have to start your +1 air weapons, and you can go straight to Citadel, and you can add cannons, and your Stargate's on time, so you're going to be able to scout how many Hydras he's building. You can just build, you know, initial 3 cannons, maybe a 4th cannon, get a 4th cannon started, and go from there. So this is good. You go behind the mineral line. This is really good. This is really good. Corsair, build our Corsair. Okay. We're building the cannons forward. We're going to try and save this forge, but I don't know that that's the best call. I don't think we can save it. Maybe I'm wrong. Alright, so Sarah goes across. Now we're looking for drone saturation. We're looking for if he's building a lair. Okay, so here, in this situation, I prefer to build 2 gateways. All right, we're adding cannons. That's good. We might have to add a couple more. We're not sure yet. But based on his drone saturation, we probably should build 2 more. But you want to build 2 gateways and a Templar archive. so that you can get your Templar out as quickly as possible, right? Because, as I said in the initial game, the first replay, that Templar energy, like the timing of your push out, that's all super important, right? So if he decides to contain you after this, the faster that you can have those Templar building up energy, the stronger your push out is going to be, right? I'll be impressed if this stays alive. Oh, you build 2 Sares. I think that's okay if you think that you can kill some Overlords with them. We got the Templar Archive. We got 2 gateways, so you're playing this well. You added 2 cannons. We need to be looking to see if there's a lair. That should be our focus. Okay, we're seeing more Hydras pop. We still only see 3 drones, so you add more cannons. Perfect. Everything is good, and we even have our Forge still alive, so that's good also. Alright, we're looking for a lair. Looks like it started at like 7 minutes. I think we can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think this might be overbuilding on the cannons. Yeah, we need to be a little bit more active with these Sares. It's hard to find the number of cannons that's perfect, but it's like once you have like 8, that's going to stop a lot of ish, right? I think if you scouted the lair with these Sares, I would have canceled these last 2. It's not a huge deal, but I don't think you need these 2. You might only need 6, honestly. But that being said, your Templar timing is good. You're +1 finished, so you're in a great spot. I would just build 2 forges here. You do build 2 forges, good. Okay, so now I'm not even worrying about legs. And my thought process is I'm going to continue to look for a Spire. If you go Spire, you need 2 Dark Templar for a Dark Archon. But now you should just be focusing on, alright, I've got 4 Templar. Well, you only have 3. Oh, there's the 4th. So you got 4 Templar. Get your goon range, get your robo facility started. And we're just going to push out with a big goon ball on a bunch of storm. You're going to have 2-1. So I'd be aiming for like a 2-1 push out. Robo, goon range, there it is, Robo. Honestly, you played this pretty much perfect. Maybe minus, you know, some of these cannons weren't needed. But that's really hard calculation to make, right? So we're not seeing a Spire. We stopped our probes at a good count. This is perfect. We're building goons. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 gateways. One thing that you can do in this situation, if you don't see, you have 2 Sayers and you don't see a Spire, when this robotics facility finishes, you can build a shuttle immediately and clear this path with like a Zealot and Sayers. Make sure he doesn't have vision here, and then you can threaten to do, you can just take like 1 High Templar and you can do a storm drop and kill some drones. You can distract him, right? You always want to make sure you distract your opponent before you do it, but that's an option. Oh, you built more High Templar. I think that this, I'm not going to say this is bad, but this delays your push timing because these 2 extra Templar are, so that's 300 gas, that's so 50 gas a piece for a goon, so that's 6 goons, that's half a control group of goons in Templar there, that's extra. And you need to build observers, which is, you know, gas heavy. I wouldn't have done this. I think you should have stayed on 4 because it delays your push. It delays your push timing because your push timing is based on getting that goon ball. And even if you just decide to come out and take a 3rd base, that might be the only time that I would say that I like this, is if you're going to stay on charge lot and you're going to skip building goons for a while and instead get like a 9-minute 3rd base, and you're going to put these 2 extra Templar at your 3rd and just play really defensively. That's the only time that I think 6 High Templar is good. If you're going for some sort of a, you know, push, then I think you only want 4 Templar because it delays things so much. Now it's going to be awkward because these upgrades are going to finish and you're going to want to be building goons, but you're not going to have a gas to start building any more upgrades. And you're going to want to start +2 armor. So okay. Let me kind of backtrack a little bit on that. If you're going to build this many Templar, I think it's more okay to do that if you plan on doing a storm drop. Right? He has 0 defense at home. He's focused on all his attention on this contain. So, if you built 5 Templar and a DT, and you kept building up, and then right at the timing, like at 140 supply or so, you decided you're going to push out, and you do a storm drop and a DT, like you drop the DT, run it into the main, storm the natural, or drop the DT in the natural, run to the 3rd, storm the 3rd, and at the same time that you're pushing out here, like, that would be good, right? Something to distract his attention while you're pushing out. That's something to think about. I think that would be good here, a shuttle. Anytime you don't see a Spire, think, how can I use some sort of a drop? Oh, we got Templar energy too. I don't hate it, but again, if it delays our goon count because we don't have enough gas, then that's a problem. Because we need to bust out of here, right? The sooner we bust out of here, the better. So maybe this is going to be okay, but I think you're probably going to try to bust out with 2-1. So far so good. You need to bring your Templar a little closer. You kind of want them. You want them as close as possible, like spread out as close as possible, so that they don't have to move to storm. So that if he comes forward with his Hydras, you're storming immediately. Which you've got enough here. It's fine. We need to put an observer here and an observer here. And we need to be building more because he's going to try to snipe them. You're getting observer sight range, which I don't think is bad in this situation. I think is good. But again, it's hard for me to say, like, the priority is having that big goon ball, right? That's what's going to help us bust out. And so all the extra things, like the Templar energy, the extra Templar, and like this, we have to balance that all with busting out. And busting out means we want a lot of gas for goons. So I'm not telling you exactly how to play it because I'm not sure, but just something to think about. We are mismicroing. We're mismicroing here because we don't have vision. So this is where we're losing right now. We're losing all those goons. Yeah. Okay, let's go back. One, two, three, four, 5. We're only building 5 goons at a time because we've got these extra upgrades making, right? The amount of ass that you can kick with a group and a half or 2 groups of dragoons is exponentially more than what this amount of goons does. So the faster that we can get like 2 groups of dragoons in this situation, the storm is good, but like four Templars is enough. And we don't need the energy upgrade until after we get our 3rd base. Because that's kind of the timer that we're on, right? We're going to mine this out. We just need to get we just need to get out of here. So, that being said, we're even pushing out a little early because, I mean, it's it's nice. We're 2-1 right now. We should be starting at least 2 armor. We don't need to start +3 weapons yet. I think this is good. I actually think this is okay, getting the observer's sight range so that it's less of a pain in the ass to break out of here. You know, we don't have to have the observers so far forward. They're going to give us vision from a safer distance. But we just need to keep pumping dragoons up until we have like 2 control groups. And then we can start building, maybe building Templar Zealot to reinforce. So I think this is fine, but I think you need to stop right here and just kind of wait. Just kind of wait for more dragoons to come out before you push again. Just play it more patiently. Because this right here is good. You're doing what you need to do. But you don't want to push in anymore. You know. you want to have a defensive stance, like line up your goons, line up your Templar, keep macroing, you know, because you're not macroing here, you're too busy microing, I guess. But we're not at that high of a supply. Our army isn't as big as it could be. So it's fine to push out a little bit and get in a good defensive stance. You know, get everything lined up, get your observers in position, get your Templar in position, but you don't need to push in yet. You want to wait till your supply is bigger to push into this. And that's the mistake here, right? We are pushing in without vision. We are on a timer to get out, but we also have to be patient about it. And that's the biggest mistake I'm seeing here. Yeah. And now we're just kind of throwing everything. Yeah. The moment you start losing a bunch of dragoons, it's pretty much over, right? Because we can't afford to rebuild those. So. Alright, man. I hope this was helpful. Maybe another Protoss will agree or disagree with what I said. Yeah, that's the other thing is, this is good. Like, you can choose a direction that you want to push out to and clear a path to your third while you continue to upgrade. Especially if we have our Stairs running around and we know that he's staying on lair. Like, we're not on a timer if we don't have to attack the Zerg if they're staying on lair. Because our army is just going to get stronger and stronger as we upgrade it versus lair. So, alright, those are my thoughts, man.